they're different, you see. We've seen their mean and ugly on movies and TV. The folks that ought to know have told us how it's got to be. The gospel truth is found in scenes from Alien and V. Let's wipe out any life form that seems to be a threat. We'll serve them up a genocide they never will forget. 'Cause if we miss a couple, they'll breed a couple more. And soon we'll all be hating twice as many as before. 'Cause the aliens can never be as good as humankind. A more delightful race than us you'll never ever find. So step aside, you star slime, we're ready for your worst. We know you want to beat us, enslave us and defeat us, oppress us and browbeat us unless we get you first.
Trying.
There we go. Now everyone can hear and see us. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the zoo. I'm your Ziggy for Night Inquisitor. And joining me tonight is Eeyore. We're just saying. Yes. Hello. I was just telling them that I recently bought a Dark Elder army, and that's what we're going to be doing. And I'm building a Talos and a Homunculus. So yeah. I saw Johnny's all like, no audio. I'm like, I know, man. I just went and saw the the dashboard, and it sucks, man. I hate it because every time I work something new, I have to like add a new like feature on OBS. Like if I unplug a microphone or plug a microphone in, it fucks everything up. It goes like all hey wonky and puts it in like the defaults in different positions and so on and so forth, and nothing ever is connected right. So every single time I start it up again, I have to start it all over from scratch, and I forget that every time. So that's
yeah, I've run into a few systems that constantly reset to default. It is annoying.
It is. It's incredibly annoying. Like I said, it all just depends on whether or not you plug in a microphone or remove a microphone or add or plug in a headphone or remove a headphone. It's all like, why can't you just stay where you are? Ugh. But anyway, how have you been, my friend?
Doing pretty good.
That's good. We're covering for Kefki tonight, who is sick. So yeah.
It is unfortunate.
Yeah. Hopefully she gets better soon.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm building the Talos right now because I need some close range support for my Dark Elder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a fairly new army. Don't have very much for it, but
yeah, when you're just starting out on a new army, I found, especially recently, it's difficult to keep yourself inspired on it until you reach that critical mass.
Well, my problem is that right now I really want to play my Dark Eldar. I also really want to play my Kroot, which I've been working on as well. But the Battle Sister Codex just got put up on pre-order, and it's going to be arriving, I want to say, next weekend. So it has me sitting there going like, the Battle Sisters are already almost all painted.
If I recall correctly, your Val sisters are one of your oldest armies.
They are.
So other than expansions, why aren't they fully painted?
New plastic models.
Ah, pretty
So
much exactly what I said. Other than new acquisitions.
yeah, and say that's really what it is because the old pewter stuff is pretty much all painted. I think I've got like a couple of things that still need to be like finished up, but for
Hmm.
the most part, they're pretty much done.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my positions right now are recently indirectly acquired some Seraphon.
From me,
Yes, thank you very much.
I can show you them on camera here later.
Yeah, I don't want to distract you from your torture robot biomechanical thing.
That's okay. That's it. Well, you're yeah. We can do it off stream too. It's no big deal.
Yeah, yeah. In addition, I recently obtained gainful employment once more.
Yeah, you told me about that before we started. So what are you doing now?
Uh, Hardware worker.
Hardware.
Yeah, retail,
Okay,
essentially.
okay. Like a hardware store or
I I don't know what type of store to call it. Closest thing is probably a department store.
okay.
It's called Canadian Tire. I'll just look up what Wikipedia calls it.
Okay. I'll say tire usually to me says like automotive repair. Yeah,
Yeah, a big bit of their business structure is their automotive department,
gotcha.
but they also do general housewares, hardware, a pretty good sporting goods section.
Okay, so they're kind of like a department store, but they're also I guess it's kind of like a Walmart, right?
Yeah, it's pretty close to Walmart,
Okay.
ex- except for the fact that management doesn't feel like a bunch of soulless suits, and it's,
Well,
well, Canadian.
I I met one of my best friends who I went and I met up with for a barbecue this last Memorial Day by working at Walmart. So I'm not going to badmouth entirely my experience at working at Walmart, but at the same time, I get residual checks for class action lawsuits that people have taken Walmart to court over
Hmm.
since the time that I've worked, and I don't feel bad cashing them. So make of that what you will.
Yeah, what else is there? The reason I said what I said earlier about starting a new army is I started TOW at the wrong time.
Well, you wanted to get into the tower at the wrong time, is what it was.
Right when the edition switched over.
Yeah. Well, not even that. It's the fact that you wanted to get into the Tau, and then now the Tau play different because of the new codex and so on and so
Yeah.
forth. So, and it's not to say that they're bad. They're not a bad army. It's just the fact that your plans about what you wanted to do have now been completely turned on their head by the fact that they don't play like that anymore.
Hmm.
So you got to kind of adapt.
It's not the worst situation I could have ran into.
No, it's not at all.
Hashtag didn't get into Beasts of Chaos.
Yeah. That's
Ooh.
that's a shit show. I feel bad for all those people that are having their Age of Sigmar army completely squatted for no terribly apparent reason other than the fact that they wanted to put the Beasts of Chaos out for fucking uh, uh, Old World. That's a bad feeling, man. But now
Beastmen players are used to it, honestly.
To be fair, though, and it's going to sound a little callous, but at least now some Age of Sigmar players know what it's like to be an old world player.
Are you speaking on behalf of your for the lady sips or your skelly vans?
I mean, both. I have both of those armies now, so I'm not all too affected by it. But I never got to play those armies back in any other old edition of Warhammer Fantasy. And so, them squatting the army, it felt bad because it felt like a missed opportunity to me. But now that I can play them, I'm all good. But now some of the Age of Sigmar players who got into Beastmen and are now relegated to either a completely useless army or forced to play a completely different game, it's all like, now you kind of know what the old world players went through. Back when it was Warhammer Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds callous to say, and I'm not like one of these people that are going to die on the hill of, old world ride or die. It's like, I play old world, and I have 2 old world armies more than I have Age of Sigmar armies, because I like the aesthetic, I like the feel of a low fantasy game setting like that, right? I like that much more than I like the high fantasy Dragon Ball Z-esque Age of Sigmar. And I'm not going to say that Age of Sigmar is bad. I like Age of Sigmar, but for all the people that are all like, you gotta like one or the other, blah blah blah.
That's football team mentality bullshit, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's the problem is that now both parties are doing it. It used to be pretty one-sided. It used to only be the old world people that were pissed at the Age of Sigmar people. Now it's Age of Sigmar people that are pissed at the old world people.
Can't we just get along
and
play with our little plastic minis?
You know what? Last time someone said that, they got beaten by the cops, Eeyore. So, I'm just saying.
There's a story behind that.
What? Can we? Do you not? It's Rodney King. It's the reference.
Oh,
Rodney King said, "Can't we all just get along?" Like when all the riots were happening, he said, "Can't we all just get along?" It's pretty famous.
Fair enough. Sorry, early 90s American history?
Not your forte.
Very much not.
Okay.
Especially the meme side.
That's weird because I guess that would be classified as a fairly early meme now, wouldn't it? Because, I mean, pretty much everyone heard him say that and then just kind of like all shat on him, even though he was the reason for the riots.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it would be technically classified as like an early form of meme.
I mean, for me, memetics, you could go back at least as far as the Victorian era.
Well, I mean, to be fair, memes are the joke is that memes are the language of culture, but it's not wrong. It's a meme thing to say, but it's not wrong.
No, it is entirely correct. But memes as we would understand and see them.
Yeah. I guess it would also be prudent to point out that there is a difference between a meme and a shitpost.
Indeed.
Yeah.
One has a little bit more elicitation towards laughter. The other is just to cause trouble.
Well, I mean, even then, shitposts are usually done for laughter. It's just that they don't care. A shitpost doesn't care about any sort of validity of argument or anything like that. It's purely there just for a laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a meme is a bit more like cutting, I guess would be a good word for it.
Yeah.
So, you're a cannibalistic wizard, but how come?
Oh, for God's sakes!
There isn't a Warhammer character for a trans male wolfkin to female badkin with feelings on Tuesdays that they are a male dragonkin with lobotomy and nipple rings. Go chaos, and then go wild.
yeah, that's
I'm fairly certain Chaos is
That-
pretty permissive of that.
I was gonna say that requires the warp or the immaterium or whatever they call it in fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And to circle back around to that,
Mm-hmm.
I actually do prefer the old world aesthetic when it comes to the lizardmen, because I prefer old world lore for lizardmen.
Sure.
And that is why I'm hoping that they keep the coalesced lore for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Because coalesced Seraphon are essentially old world lizardmen.
Yeah, they just they hopped on their ship and abandoned the world as it blew up.
And instead of staying in the world and becoming demons of the wind of heavens, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
they chose to retake material form.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of stuff in the Age of Sigmar lore that is cool. I mean, I've said it. Uh, I said it a little derisively at the start here, talking about how it's like Dragon Ball Z. But Dragon Ball Z is popular for a reason, guys. So you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing when they write their lore like that. Plus, there's a little bit of everything for everyone in Age of Sigmar too, just like there is for 40k. You know, you've got your low fantasy sort of settings in uh, the realm of the dead. Fuck, what is it called? Shaiish. In Shaiish, it's pretty much like a one for one. This is the old world in Shaiish.
If you're referring to the entirety of Grand Alliance Death, sure, you have a lot of our old world influences. Big issue though. They kept Manfred.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to sit there and get into it with the characters. What I'm talking about is the actual realm of death, Shaiish.
Yes.
Is very much in the aesthetic and a lot of the influence of old world. It's pretty much like a little time capsule of the old world in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, I'm somewhat curious on how far cities of Sigmar have departed from the old empire.
Yeah, it's true. One thing that I will say that's really interesting about Cities of Sigmar is that they've come out with some pretty badass looking models. Yeah, the new models for the Cities of Sigmar, when they got their big re-release, look really fucking cool.
Do you have any idea what's going on with Skaven right now? Because the store page is like only half the size it normally should be.
Skaven are getting a huge rework. They're becoming the big antagonist faction of Age of Sigmar 4th edition.
Yes. Lots of new rats.
Yes. I've seen some of the new minis on the community site, and they look fucking awesome.
Could we just get around to rotating out all the old characters? Like, keep them up for sale. Those old character minis are iconic for a reason. But I wouldn't want 3 Icket claws representing Warlock Masters or Sorcerer Engineers or whatever they call the Scryer leaders right now.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I think that there's probably plans on redoing all the old minis so that they can phase them out. It would not at all shock me if they did that eventually, because I mean they did that with some of the older factions too, like Craft World Eldar got a huge rework.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess I'm complaining because through Total War Warhammer, I've sort of become a lot more attached to a lot of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing them as generic leader models now just feels off.
Yeah, I hear you. It's strange because like some of those models, they're iconic, like you said. Oh, hey, Kefki. How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling better. Um, yeah, some of those minis, it's like they're very uh, iconic, but at the same time, they're very dated, and you can
Mm-hmm.
tell that they're very dated. They have a very specific sort of old look to them, and
Yeah.
it sucks, like especially when you really like the characters, to see them just straight up not getting updated. Uh, it's less of an issue for some characters. I'm going to come right out and say that. Like I have no problem with the old damsel, the old lady, the old Green Knight, because those models looked amazing for the time, and they still look great.
Mm-hmm.
So, for some of them, it's all like, I don't know if I'd like to see them updated. I kind of want to see them stay the way that they are.
Well, there is a minor contradiction with my previous argument, and there is actually a single character that I want to see their model updated, and that would be Skarsnik, represented in Age of Sigmar by Loon Boss with, not on, with Giant Cave Squig.
Okay. I don't know much about the uh, Blue Spike Gits right now. All I know is that I have, I think, two different Underworld's warbands for him now. Oh yeah, that's another thing that I've been expanded a bit since last we talked. I now have, God, I want to say, all right. So I've got two per box that I have. I have 4 boxes, so that's 8, and then I have 11 more warbands for Underworlds.
Yeah, and you said Underworlds is semi close to a kill team.
It's a little. I can explain it a little bit. Hey, Kefki, you said you still don't have much of a voice, and thank you. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm always here for you. And I'm not really painting anything today. I'm just building. I'm building a Talos, and then later on, I've got a homunculus over here that I'm going to be building. The way I describe Underworlds is that it's 1 part board game, 1 part card game, 1 part miniature war game.
Mm-hmm.
It's this weird sort of eclectic mix of all 3.
Which is interesting, and the reason I compare it to Kill Team is...
Yeah, it's the amount of characters. Yeah, so well, even then, there are some warbands where it's only like 2 models, and then there's other warbands where it's like 10.
Well, that comes with the faction.
Depends, yeah. Like it's really funny. One of the warbands I have is a Trog, so it's a huge troll, right? And all of their minis are like, I've got a cave squig, I've got a flying cave squig, I've got a essentially what amounts to a roper from D&D, all sorts of stuff like that. It's all part of his warband.
I didn't know Trog was a Gloom Spite.
Oh yeah, Trog's a Gloomspite.
Oh yeah. Troll King.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a renamed and reflavored Throg, though.
Maybe.
However, switching Throg to Trog is... First of all, that's chaos to destruction. And that's enough of a shift.
That's fine. It's fine. Okay, hold on. I'm looking at this now. I know I want to have gauntlet. But now I'm just trying to decipher the fucking instructions. I think I need to use 29 and 28 to attach to that, and then use the two halves of the arm there to attach to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been eagerly awaiting their sneak peek for Seraphon for 4th edition.
I think that you're going to probably have a while to wait. I know that they're going to be doing faction focuses, so they'll have like a whole community post that will be entirely dedicated to it.
They've been doing that for a couple weeks now. I've been watching it on one of the Discord server is attached to the Warhammer community newsfeed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, their most recent was a Soul Blight.
Really? Oh, I missed that. Okay, I think I need to look that up after the stream. Because I didn't see that.
Here you go.
All right.
For later.
Thank you. Yeah, because that I've been worried about how my Soul Blighter is going to play in 4th edition. Because like when the Soul Blight first came out, they were incredibly powerful, and then just after a while they became less and less and less so until now they were just kind of a joke faction. I hope that they kind of hit the hard reset and make them dangerous again.
I think what you've started to notice in 40k 10th, you might see with AOS 4 is everything's going to take a grand rebalancing.
That, and I can almost guarantee you that the way 4th is going to work is it's going to work a lot like 10th in the fact that to get the most out of any character, you're going to need to run, or get the most out of any unit, you're going to need to have it paired with a character. Like, there may be some that work independently and they work okay that way, but for the most part, you're going to want to have a character.
Supporting almost every unit.
Yeah.
That hurts for armies with expensive characters.
Yes, it does. But other armies, it works out so that it's you're going to have a completely restructuring of how you take your army, like I'm going to. Like, I'm not going to... I think that I need to get 2 White Kings on foot to be able to attach to my Grave Guard, because I don't think vampires are going to be able to be attached to Grave Guard. I'm not sure what vampires are going to be able to reattach to it, if attaching is even a thing. Like, again, I don't know shit about how this is all going to shake down, and it's frustrating because it's like I built my army a specific way because of what I wanted and how much I liked the minis, without much regard of trying to be competitive. But it's no fun to put all of this effort into your army, get it all painted up, and everything, and just lose every game. That's not fun either.
Right. And even though I've never actually won a game in person, I've had fun every single time.
What are you talking about? You beat my roommate. You beat Doug.
That was really just a beatdown.
You kicked his ass.
Thank you, early 10th edition OP Redemptor.
Well, thank you also, early edition OP Oath of Moment. Let's not give beat around the bush. That's what made you win that game.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm hoping that Seraphon aren't really weird to attach for the most part.
Yeah.
Because I really do not want to grab a bunch of really, really old, really outdated Footscar veterans just to take Source Warriors.
Gotcha. Again, I don't know how that's going to shake down and how much different it's going to be on 4th edition. So the best I can hope for is the fact that like things are either not going to change all that radically, or they're going to be good enough that everyone who has their current army isn't going to be completely out. You know, let's be honest, the one thing that really kind of annoys me about 40K's 10th edition is all of the unit size restructures. Because I built my orcs around the idea that I would take one group of 9 orc bikers. Now you can only take them in groups of 6. So I have 3 orphaned bikers. So if I want to get the most out of the unit, I need to go and buy 3 more bikers. Thank you, GW, making me spend more money I didn't want to spend. But that's their plan. That's what they want.
Yes.
And that's what's frustrating.
I'm trying to even see if they have put source officers anymore. Because all I can recall is the mounted ones.
I mean, like I said, I would be not the person to ask about that. I don't know anything about it.
I'm well aware you're not well versed in Seraphon.
Yeah. Like when I bought your minis, you know, from that one dude locally, I sent the picture to you and I was like, don't ask me about anything because I don't know what the fuck anything is.
Yeah, what I saw was a... Let's see if I can find the image so I can recall it fresh. Let's see.
Good Lord.
Let's see. Just a primed Carnosaur. I can't even see what's mounted on it.
I don't think there is anything. I think both the Carnosaur and the Stegodon don't have anything actually on it.
No, they're both missing their mounts.
Yeah, whatever's supposed to be is in the box somewhere. And if it's and if it's not, I can talk to the guy and he'll find it.
Yeah, I can already see Engine of the Gods for the Stegodon in the bag, and a little speck of blue is either bits of skink or whatever source is supposed to be on the Carnosaur.
Okay.
Yeah, the Saurus are armed with spears by the looks of it.
I think some of them had hand weapons.
There's only really 2 load-ups for the Saurus warriors. Spears or clubs.
I think they've got clubs, actually.
Yeah, I see spears.
Yeah, I would say I saw at least one of them in there had a club. So maybe the ones with spears are the mounts for the Carnosaur?
There'd be just one, and he's a whole different kettle of fish.
Okay.
Though, what I might be seeing is skink spears.
Could be.
Bundled in that old thing of blue because... No, that's attached right to the Saurus warrior.
The skinks are not attached to their mounts. So.
Yeah, and I can't tell if the ones that ride on the Engine of the Gods are attached either because that's all in the bag.
Yeah. Good Lord, this guy is going to be annoying to put together. And I still have 5 racks to put together too.
Looking at the store page, is this whole Spearhead just a rename of the old Vanguard boxes?
Yeah, the Spearheads are going to be essentially what the combat patrols are for current 40K.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. And they're also going to have a way to play the game as just what the contents of that box are. So
Ultra restrictive like the compats.
yes,
Great.
they're designed for, brand spanking new players who don't know dick about the game.
Yep. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Sad troglodyte noises. Because the Troglodon's the alternate build for the Carnosaur.
Gotcha. Well, there's nothing to say
It is,
you can't build it that way, when you get the kit. It's just that you can't play that specific set of games.
indeed. And I'm actually planning on being rather ambitious with my Seraphon.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
What do you want to do with them?
In addition to what you have, for me, I want to get a lot more Croxagore, a good bit more Saurus Warriors, some of those Agrodons, and at least 2 Skink Oracles on Troglodons.
Okay.
However, if I were to play all 4 of those big things, that's half an army right there.
I think, God damn it, I had a bit fall, motherfucker. I think one of the things in that box is a Skink Oracle.
It would be extremely difficult for me to believe that because the Oracle wouldn't use that head mount on the Carnosaur. The head for the Oracle is specifically mounted on a Troglodon.
Okay.
Which uses the same kit as the Carnosaur. Okay. There is a Skink Priest that rides upon the engine of the gods, however.
Okay. Then that's probably what he was talking about.
Yep. And to summarize what an engine of the gods is, take a Skink Wizard, 4 of his little buddies, put it on a dinosaur tank, and then add a space laser beam onto it.
I will say this. The one thing that I have heard as a rumor is that 4th edition will be less Monster Mash list oriented. Because when they released the whole General's Handbook about the battles in GUR, it was entirely based around the idea that everyone would be taking like the most monsters that you possibly could. And I know that they're trying to get away from that.
Which is okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too, because that kind of ruins the entire battle plan I had for Soul Blight.
Which is use it as a horde?
Well, I wanted to play a skeleton horde mainly. Also, did you hear about the differences between reinforcements between then and now?
I haven't really delved too deeply into AOS 4 rules.
So the way it currently is in certain size games, you can take certain number of reinforcements for your army. Meaning, okay, so like, say this unit is 10, you can reinforce that unit with another 10.
And battle line can be reinforced twice, but you can only reinforce a certain amount of times depending on the size of game you're playing.
Game, exactly. Okay, the way it is now, every unit can be reinforced at least once. Period.
Okay.
Nothing else. No other dependents, no size of the game, whatever. It's every unit can be reinforced once.
Okay, that makes me happy.
Makes me happy too, because then now I don't have to worry about the fact that I've got 20 Graveguard, 40 and 40 Death Rattle, because Death Rattle only come in 10s, and so do Graveguard. So if I want
Mm-hmm.
to take my Grave Guard into a unit of 20, I can. And if I wanted to take my Death Rattle into groups of 20, I can. And I'm not running into any bullshit about the number of reinforcements I have.
Yep. And if I want to take several blobs of 20 Saurus Warriors,
Yes,
I can go nuts.
you can go ham.
I was somewhat hoping that Skinks came in 20s to begin with, but they only come in 10s.
Yeah, there is one unit of Soul Blight that comes in 20s, and I could be an asshole with it and take a unit of 40 of them. But the problem is that I don't really like them all that much, and I don't want to paint that many. It's Deadwalker zombies. Deadwalker
Yeah,
zombies.
I was gonna think it was Walking Dead.
Yeah, they come in minimum sizes of 20.
Yeah. Clam Rats, Skaven Slaves. Though Clam Rats are one of the units that have seemingly disappeared from the store.
Like I said, don't be surprised about that for Skaven in particular, because, like I said, they're getting a whole complete rework given the fact that they're going to become the flagship enemy of 4th Edition.
Mm-hmm. Though Clam Rats are such a, from a lore perspective, fundamental unit, though everything you'd use a Clam Rat for, you'd probably want to use a Skaven Slave for. Because, and I'll use AOS 3. What's the difference between the two?
Are you advocating for slavery right now, Eeyore? Ugh. I can't believe you.
Oh. Where's the Skaven Slaves? Did they really squat Skaven Slaves? I have to go into the archive?
Yeah, maybe.
I wish you...
I'm going to say this right now. I'm annoyed at the fact that Dark Eldar characters are almost all exclusively on 25 mil bases.
Is 25 mil annoying for you?
Very. It seems like an anachronism at this point, because everything's gotten on bigger bases.
Yeah.
But the Dark Eldar remain on 25 mil.
I mean, aren't guards still on 25s?
I think so. I think they're the only ones that are on 25s now. Because not even Gantz and Gaunt's are on 25. They're on 28.
Right. Other than guardsmen, I think some of the Admech and Battle Sisters might be.
Nope. Battle Sisters are on 32s.
Huh.
Yeah, they're on the same size as Space Marines. And I think I'd have to check.
I just checked. Skitarii are on 25s.
The Skitarii are? Okay, yeah. I was going to say, I couldn't remember if they were on 25s or if they were on 28s.
Yeah. Well, I ran into a similar issue because when I was like, you know what I'm talking about with the whole foam issue.
Yeah.
Because you've already heard my plans, so the way that works out, that 4-inch mat is already pretty darn full. How am I going to fit an 80 mil base into that as well?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Because it ain't going to be fitting in with the Croxagore.
With the Space Marines, at least you're fine. Because I know for a fact that all the Space Marine stuff that you have will fit in the problem. Unless you get like 2 repulsors and 3 impulsors and like gladiator and stuff like that, then yeah, you probably need a bigger base, or a bigger case. But
Yeah. As far as switching it out, almost everything that sizing wise, everything I have that have planned for Seraphon will also fit the Space Marines.
they'll fit in the same case.
Not at the same time.
Okay, I'll say that's going to be your problem, especially when you come down here. You're going to have to find a way to transport back up the Seraphon, or since we've got well over a year, planning to get 2 cases.
Yeah. Thing is, there's another side of that issue. Looking at you, Air Canada.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem.
Though one of Balphone's tiniest cases will probably be okay.
Okay. Yeah, I have a battle foam spear bag, and up until I reinforced my guard and doubled up the number of infantry I own and stuff like that, it held literally everything that I owned for guard.
Yeah. My plan as far as battle foam is concerned, right now, if I were to have that case, I'd probably be able to fit everything I currently own.
Okay.
Not comfortably due to those Lehman Russes, but...
Does that also include your knight?
Yes.
Okay.
I think... what's the base? Because if it's the same base that the Carnosaur uses, I shouldn't have an issue.
Okay.
I think it is. They're all in the same base, so what? No, I would not.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
The Knight's base, width-wise, is over 4 inches.
Okay.
And the deepest piece of foam I'm getting is 4 inches because the Carnosaur and the Stag have I think it's 100 and some odd by 93 mil base.
Okay. It's the oval base, right?
The oval bases come in multiple sizes.
Okay. Well, no, okay. Which oval base? Is this the knight size oval base, or is this the oh god, what else goes on the smaller oval base?
Well, there's multiple. The smallest of the oval bases are mostly used by AOS cavalry.
Well, and bikes, yeah. I know the oh fuck it, I've got an oval base right here. This is the Lone Spear for the crew. He's on the same.
Remember, there's Stalag.
I know. About 15 seconds. And that's the same one as Outriders.
Yeah, and that looks like and I'm just going to estimate a 75 by 42.
There's next to my homunculus.
But what the Stegodon is on is a 120 by 92. And that's also the Carnosaur, and by extension, the Troglodon.
Okay. I say, I could go there and get those models, right?
That base on the ground is either a Knight base or one of those 120 by 92s.
I say, I could go and get the model, right, and compare it to one of my Knights.
Yeah. It'll be small. The Carnosaur base will be smaller than the Knight base.
Okay.
I honestly don't know what else is on this size of base though.
Nothing that I own currently, I'll tell you that much. much because I can't think of anything that's on an oval base that's not already the size of a knight base. That includes my buggies. That includes well, like even the stuff that I have for Age of Sigmar, like my zombie dragon is on a circle base. It's on the same size base as the Honors Doom Crawler.
Yeah, which is a really big circle base.
Yeah, it's not as big as the Monolith's base, which is the biggest base, the biggest circle base.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could think of. Nope, Gorkanauts and Morkanauts are on knight bases.
Yep. Yes, they are.
I would have figured they'd be on slightly smaller bases.
I think the Stompa is on a large circle base.
Yeah.
The
Maybe
size circle base.
maybe that. Trigons.
Okay.
Trigons and Molochs are on those bases.
Really? Okay. I thought the Molochs were on the knight size base.
The knight size base and these slightly smaller ovals are so close together that it's easy to mix them up.
Okay, gotcha. I'll have to go and ask SCP then because he has Trigons.
I mean, yeah, Turvies as well. I forget the. Yeah, Turvies and Tyrannifexes, I believe, are the same shit.
Because I've got a Tyrannifex as well, so I get.
Yeah, so it should be on that base.
Okay.
I thought there's.
I thought that was on the knight base too.
I know. Like I said, these slightly smaller bases look like knight bases, but they are not.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just curious where else this base shows up.
You know, that is a good thing to look up because see how often it happens. Because apparently now it's happened twice with Seraphon, but everything else, like the only thing that we can really point to is Tyranids.
Yeah. I just checked Votan, nothing there.
Yeah, none of the Votan vehicles, the big vehicles, are on bases.
Yeah, most of them jump straight to Jakari. All use flying bases, I presume.
Yep.
Maybe some of the bigger Krons?
Maybe. No, I can't even think of any of the Necrons either because Catan are all on 40 mil bases.
Yeah, and one of the only things I thought was the Triarch Stalker, but it's a used model.
Well, yeah, Triarch Stalker isn't even on a base.
Nope.
I know because I have one.
Really? I would have expected Ghost Arcs to be on a bigger base.
No, they're on a flying base. They're on a flying tag.
Nothing in Oryx.
What's really weird about that too, about the Ghost Arc and Doomsday Arc, is the fact that the model has to be counterbalanced like a fucking forklift.
Riptides.
Okay, I wouldn't know because that's not the Tau I'm interested in.
I understand, but Riptides.
Of the entirety of the Tau, I have now. If I take all three of the enhancements I'm allowed, I have a 1,300 point Tau army. You know that, right? And how many Tau are in it?
Probably only a couple, and even then they've been converted to Kroot.
0. I have 0 Tau. They're all Kroot.
Yes, because...
This is what I own for my Tau army, okay? I have 2 Lone Spears, 2 War Shapers, 2 Flesh Shapers, 2 Trail Shapers, 40 Carnivores, 20... Technically 22, because there's 2 Kroot Hounds that are also in them. Farstalker Kinbands, 6 Rampagers, 2 Crew Talks Riders, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I have literally no Tau in my crew army.
As you were saying that, I found another thing. Bloodthirsters are on that base.
Really? Bloodthirsters? Okay. I say, because I've got my roommate's Bloodthirsters still, so I should look into that.
None of the other greater demons appear to have it.
No, no.
I
know the great unclean one's on the big circle base.
Yeah, 5-inch circle.
Yeah.
And I already checked the Lord of Change, which is on a smaller circle.
Okay.
And I'm not expecting the Keeper of Secrets. No, 4-inch base.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought the Keeper of Secrets was actually on a an oval base as well, but I guess
no.
Okay.
4-inch circle.
Huh.
Shouldn't be anything in Death Guard in this size. CSM, I don't think would, because a lot of their vehicles are use base.
Yeah, on no base. Yeah.
Maybe the Baboose for Grey Knights?
Maybe. Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, Kefki, the new Keeper Secrets. I'll keep you appraised when I have that model from my roommate to paint, so you can be there every step of the way.
What? She's interesting in Keeper Secrets?
Well, she really likes the model. She thinks it looks really fucking cool. So, and I'm not going to disabuse her of that. It's a really badass looking model. But the named version is so fucking overpowered in the in the tabletop that it's the sort of thing. It's like your opponent puts down Shalaxi Hexbane, and you get a free like shot to the nuts when they do so. Because that model is stupid overpowered.
Yeah, you already know I'm not the biggest fan of named characters in general.
Yeah, I know. I'll say I tend to go for the named characters only when I really, really, really like them. Right now the big meta for the Necrons is to play the Hypercrypt Legion, and they take not Trazen the Infinite, what's his name? Imhotep the Stormlord, Orkin the Diviner, and shit, what's the other guy? Luminar Zeris. They take all 3.
Okay.
And that's the big meta. And it's like, do I own any of those models? No. Maybe I might get Imhotep the Stormlord. Maybe I might get Orkin the Diviner. But yeah, there you go. Kefki said, she said, I started to build a Chaos Army eons ago. I can't remember which one. Got the Nurgle the Great Unclean one. And then she said that she also had a board there somewhere. I venture a guess, Keki, these are old enough to be the pewter ones?
I'd guess so too. Because I was completely unaware that Kefki was even into this stuff.
Oh yeah, no, you weren't there at the times that we talked about Warhammer stuff?
No, not really.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, she's been into Warhammer. She likes Warhammer. She likes the modeling, she likes the, painting and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Though with all this said, I am very, very happy that this weird mini night base exists. Because I can lay it on its side in a 4-inch piece of foam.
And you didn't have to worry about the fact that it's got a massive fucking base. Yeah, I hear you. I'm lucky in the fact that even though the buggies for the orcs are on the night-size bases, the full model is only like less than 1.5 inches high.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need a 4-inch base for it. I just need a large surface area in the tray.
Yeah, I've mostly avoided the debate of whether or not to trade them vertically or on their sides.
For those wondering why I'm not doing anything right now, I'm letting the glue harden because I don't want to be messing with something when it's like semi-solid.
But you get what I mean, the debate between on their side versus standing up.
Yes, I've laid models on their side quite a bit, but it has to be done with major consideration.
Either that or gotta be built right. And this is part of why I was worried about laying the Stegodon on its side. Because that model.
If you said the lore just trips me up and the rules, my freaking dirt brain. I used to play fantasy and had an army of da boys. You do know, Kefki, if you still have them, they just came out with rules for specifically orcs and goblins for Old World.
The old greenskins.
And if you still have them, we could get in a game if I work on my Tomb Kings and or Bretonians.
And for my part, 90% of what I'd be getting just needs to be put on square basis.
Yeah, yeah. So I know Eve did that for a while. She did. She magnetized the bottom of all of her demons so that she could swap them between circle and square bases.
Yeah, because I know Old World is really leaning into that old rule set.
Oh, it is. It is. So you very much have to put everything in ranks and all that other kind of stuff. Yes, absolutely. Oh, you wish you still had it? Oh, I'm sorry.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Because that's one thing we're wanting to do in 2025, Keki. I'm looking to try and get together a big group of or a big war chest, right? And one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to get a whole bunch of people together for Gen Con. Like we wanted to fly in Icy from the Netherlands. We wanted to fly in Shady from California. We want to get you and Eve and fly in Eeyore from Canada and all that other kind of stuff. We want to get everyone in for that convention and play some games together.
So you know my plans, and doing both Adepticon and Gen Con that year.
That's going to be rough. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but
Ooh.
to be fair, I think Gen Con is probably the bigger one. We could put off Adepticon for another time. We really could.
Yeah, logistically, it would be the more difficult one to do because of my other arrangements in November. I mean, October.
I mean, like the major thing for Adepticon 2 is the fact that it's going to be up in Milwaukee. I'm completely unfamiliar with Milwaukee. I've been there a handful of times by myself and then with groups of friends and so on and so forth, but I have much more experience with downtown Indianapolis.
Mm.
So,
Indianapolis, from my experience, was a good city.
Though
parts of it had a stinky industrial smell.
Yeah, well, remember where we were, on that side of the city. It was very much like industrial parks and then all of a sudden convention center.
Yep.
So.
That's just sort of the flavor of the city.
Pretty much, yeah. You'll get that in south and south and southwest side of Chicago as well.
Mm-hmm.
You got
you're starting to make me remember.
What?
Remember that trip?
Yeah, it's a fun trip. It was a fun trip.
For some reason, the biggest memory that points out to me is one night you were out something and I wanted to go get food semi-late.
Mm-hmm.
I, not knowing the city or the area, just thought, okay, I could just walk out the door.
Mm-hmm.
at like 8 or 9.
At night?
Adam and yeah, Adam and your roommate were like, they was looking at me like I was crazy.
Yeah. Mainly because you don't know where you are.
What is the worst that's going to happen?
Well, where we were, you'd get abducted by a Hispanic gang. You know, Latin kings will get you inducted.
They're in a Mexican bone in my body.
I know. You'll become honorary Mexican. You'll become a
No, thank
you.
you. All I wanted was some enchilada.
Oh man, there's a new restaurant that I've been going to, a new Mexican place because they're open late, but
Yeah.
I've been absolutely adoring their steak tacos, and I've been getting them at least once a week because they're absolutely
Mm,
delicious. Oh my God.
steak taco.
Yeah. And to be fair, I don't live too far from the apartment complex. I just don't live in that apartment complex anymore.
Yeah.
And I did see a house on the east side that was 228K, and I'm really tempted because it's fucking nice. There's a creek in the backyard, and the deck to the house has a bridge over the creek into a bigger backyard
Same property?
on the same property. Yes, it's
Shut up, take my money.
it's fucking cool. Yeah, I was like, that's awesome, dude.
Like, is there an. I'm aware of your secondary uh, provisions for housing, at least based on what I knew in August of 2023.
My problem is that it's at the upper end of my budget. 228. My upper budget is 230.
Ooh.
So it's pushing it.
And with such a good land feature, you're not in much position to get that to be scraped down.
Well, not only that, is it's also the market. The market is not the sort of thing where you can negotiate down at all. Everything is going to go up.
Yeah.
So
Like, if you are really lucky, you might scrape it down to 225.
yeah, no, well, that's not happening. It's only going up. It's never going down.
Hey, something that big, there's always going to be a little bit of negotiation.
I hope, but you know, these last couple of years have done a lot to kill my hope.
Fair enough.
So
The market and the features of that house, like I said, even scratching away 3K is going to be
yeah.
like pulling teeth.
Well, let's put it this way: it's not just the features; it's just the market. The market itself is commanding that kind of value,
Yeah.
and it's frustrating. It's really frustrating.
Thing is, if you put a house on the market here for 228, converted even into Canadian, you'd have it bought up in half an hour.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not expecting this
That
to stick around.
no, the housing market is that bad
Yeah,
up here.
yeah. It's just as bad down here, man. In this city in particular, if a house is up for more than 3 weeks, something is wrong.
And that's when you could get an assessor in and drop lots of money off of that price.
Yes. And even then, sometimes not very much either. There's this one condo that I was looking at. It's a really nice 3-bed. I think it's 2 bath. For now, it's gone all the way down to 143. But when I first saw it, it was over 200.
Well, that's not bad.
It isn't. Problem. One parking space.
And I could see another problem.
Hmm.
The condominiums version of an HOA.
Yeah, there are those, but like that one really isn't all that bad. I think it's like $200 a month.
Oh, I'm not referring to the fees. I'm referring to the HOA Karens.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would say there's yeah, and that's one thing SCP has to deal with too. Currently, he's got a kind of a dickhead that is trying to flex his non-existent muscles. But yeah, for me, I'm perfectly fine with all that shit because I'm not going to do a whole hell of a lot of remodeling. I don't want to do a whole hell of a lot of remodeling, so I doubt that I'd ever have to run into one of the HOA Karens. Um, but it is still a concern. For me, though, it really just comes down to price.
Hmm. Though I will warn you,
Mhm.
certain types of Karens will find a reason to complain.
I'm sure. Well, I would say, like I said, SCP is having to deal with that shit right now. So yeah, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked by that. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just. Uh, I keep on. Right now, my major goal is just get out of debt, get a second car, save up for a massive down payment. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And if that takes all the way into next year, so be it. I'm okay.
Hmm.
But we've been going for over an hour here. We've been going for an hour and 11 minutes. So I figure now's the time to say thank y'all for coming out. And yeah, Hefty will probably be back next Sunday, depending on how she feels. Hopefully, she feels much better. And yeah, with that, the zoo is closed. Take care, everyone.
Good night.